I have been burned many times by friends in the past, and I definitely take some responsibility that I didn't always surround myself with the right people, and I ignored some of those red flags. And that is one of the reasons I'm so freaking grateful for our friendship and to have Kristen here with me today, because I know our friendship is really real and it's raw. And it's just been an amazing journey of how much the two of us actually want to see each other succeed and are willing to go out of our way to support one another.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here today. Thank you for such a great introduction as your best friend.
Yes.
But my name is Kristen. I'm the CEO and founder of PerfectDose and PerfectDose RX. I am a national trainer for 2 major aesthetic companies in the nation. I am also a mom of my baby boy Jackson, a wife, and I have 2 chihuahuas.
Yes, Kristen balances everything so well, which is one of the reasons I also wanted to bring her on so we can dive into that. But our friendship really started off us doing a collaboration and wanting to support each other. And right from the very beginning, we just kicked it off and really formed such a great friendship. But I know also Kristen has been burned sometimes from friends in the past, and so she can really relate. And I do want to bring up, in college, one of my best friends in college, post-college, right? We were super, super close. And when I started my fitness journey and I started really dabbling into social media and putting myself out there and really doing a bikini show, I'll never forget to this day, she really told me that she could no longer follow me because of the stuff that I was posting, that it was just rubbing her the wrong way. And she felt like we were going in different directions and really didn't want to continue that friendship. And that crushed me so bad at the time. And I felt like I would never form a friendship like that. And then I meet Kristen, and she is just so freaking supportive of all my crazy dreams, the things I want to do. And I just am so grateful for that, because unfortunately, people, when you become successful, people are not going to always want to see you succeed. And their jealousy can come up and insecurities can come up, and people can just bring you down in ways.
Absolutely. I think what happens is as you grow, your friends either grow with you or you grow out of those friendships.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody listening can probably relate to that today. Something that I read, and I always keep this at the top of my mind, is you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you let that sink in, it's like, okay, wow. Who do I want to surround myself with? I want to be around people that inspire me, that are doing big things, that are leading their lives with confidence. And that's why Meg and I are best friends, because we both inspire each other. We support each other. We love each other's successes. And I think that's so important.
Yeah, we have friend dates where we literally meet at the end of every year. We've pretty much met together and just chatted about our goals and just push each other too, of like, no, we're going big. We're going to do these things, and we're believing in all the things that we are doing. And I just really do cherish that. I want to share with everyone listening just a few things we've learned over the years. And I do feel as you step into your 30s, it does help you start to really recognize the power of who you surround yourself with and signs to kind of look for. So I'm curious if there's anything that you would share that has helped you be able to form better friendships and just make better decisions with the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah. So I think just going back to you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I really let that sink in. So qualities that I look for in friends are people that aren't gossiping. I like to be around people that inspire me. I always feel like if you are the most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yes, I love that saying. That's such a good saying for sure.
Yeah, so that's something that I like to keep at the forefront. And also people that share the same values as me. I think that's so important. So those are qualities that I look for. People that value kindness, people that want you to succeed. And that's something, especially with you and I, when I am sharing something that has been successful in my journey, you're right there supporting me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think for me too, it's learning to keep my guard up a little bit for a little while, because I think back to some of my friendships in the past and I just instantly pour my heart into them and want to become best friends with them. And that has allowed me to kind of ignore some signs, you know? So I think at this point in my life, I do like to keep my guard up for a little bit because it takes time to really get to know someone. Even thinking about our friendship, like it really evolved over the years. We took our time to like really get to know each other and ensure like how genuine we wanted to support one another.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so important. And again, just thinking, who do you want to surround yourself with? You want to be by people that inspire you and grow with you. And that's something with our friendship, especially, we've really grown together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we weren't always podcasting in this room.
Our first podcast, we were drinking probably cheap champagne out of plastic cups and just making it work in your office.
Absolutely. And now we only drink Veuve.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about your journey and how you've got here today, because I know at one point you were working in the hospital as a nurse. So talk to us a little bit of how you decided to take that leap of faith and transition more to aesthetic.
Yeah. So I worked in ER trauma for 5 years. I've always been someone that loves the hustle and the grind.
Mm-hmm.
So that really just fit for me. And then one day I just was like, oh my gosh, counting down when I could go home. I didn't feel challenged. And I'm someone that needs to feel challenged.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite know what I wanted to do, but I knew I was ready for the next level. So I enrolled in nurse practitioner school.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was in nurse practitioner school, I'm like, well, I got to figure out how to pay for nurse practitioner school.
Yes.
So I got a side job working at Laser Away.
Okay.
And that was really where I entered aesthetics. And I've always loved beauty. I listened to podcasts. Like I've always done all the things. But it was really when I started working there that I was like, wow, I can make an impact on people's lives by making them feel confident, making them feel beautiful. And also the face is very challenging. So a lot of people think that Botox is easy. Botox is not easy. It's really difficult. And it's actually the one profession in the medical field that you get yelped and reviewed. There's no other doctors or nurse practitioners that get yelped and reviewed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure in this industry, but that's what made me want to get into aesthetics. And then I couldn't really quite find a space that fit what I wanted to give to the world. And what I mean by that is, for me, I wanted to have a space where you could come in and know that you're getting the best possible outcomes, because anybody that's treating you at this place was very smart. They knew everything about the face anatomy. And then I also wanted the vibe where like you're walking into your best friend's house.
Yeah.
And I feel like the market is really, you're either going into this medical practice that's so like, you know, medical, right?
Yeah.
Or you go into these fun, trendy places and they're not quite knowledgeable. So I was actually listening to a podcast called The Skinny Confidential.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was talking about starting your own business. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Okay.
So after listening to that podcast, I started an LLC and figured out how to make a website.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just started. I took the leap. Yeah.
Now, was that when you went and you worked under someone else?
So my story's a little interesting. So I actually just started my own business right out the door.
Okay.
And then a doctor that worked with me in the ER, he was like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I really want you to come work with me.
Yeah.
And I was very new into my business. So I was like, okay, sure. Like this sounds great. So I worked under him for a few years. And then there was a point where I was like ready to take the next step. I'm like, this is so much bigger than what I'm doing. I have such big dreams. And this doctor that I was working with was so supportive. And he was like, Kristen, you got to go do your thing.
That's amazing. We need more people like that.
Yeah.
I love hearing that type. And I remember because when we met, you were working under him, right? You were at that office. Yeah. And then you created your own practice. You got your own building. Talk to us a little bit about just some of the fears you overcome to do that, because I know you drained your savings and you took a big leap of faith. And there's a lot of people that are probably listening wanting to start their own business. And a lot of times you're going to have to take a scary risk. I know with me going all in on my coaching business, you know, quitting teaching, moving across country, that was by far one of the scariest things I ever did, but obviously it completely paid off and got me to where I'm at today. I also feel doing that really built so much strength in me internally. Like it grew this muscle of I can do anything I put my mind to. And because of that, I've been able to just hold myself with way more confidence than I ever had. But I want you to kind of dive a little bit into that and talk to us of how you initially decided, you know what, I'm going to do this?
Yeah. So it's really funny you say that because I was making a lot of money in nursing. I was making $90,000 a year. So whenever I told my parents, I was like, I want to start my own business. I want to leave the hospital. I'm ready to go into aesthetics. They were like, what are you thinking? You make so much money. Like, why are you doing this? But, at the end of the day, they supported me. I ended up spending, everything that I had into starting my own business. And it was really scary because I actually opened my practice COVID, March 2020.
I remember, yes.
And I'm like, great, I just spent all my money and now I have to be closed.
Yeah.
But I didn't let that stop me. I actually started making skincare boxes and driving them to people's houses. So through COVID, I was continuing to say, like, I can bring skincare to you. These are the services that I offer. When I open back up, I will be ready to serve you. So I think that's really important is just because I was closed and I just spent all my money and a lot of people would give up at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't. I still made it work. And I just kind of went with it. So the second I was able to open after COVID, I knew I needed to get patients and I started posting on social media. I started passing out my business cards. I literally brought my business cards everywhere. I also gave a lot of free services. And what that means is I ate the cost because I knew that in the long run, it would pay off. So I would be like a stalker, kind of like I stalked you to be friends. I messaged people on Instagram. I was like, hey, do you want to come get lip filler with me? So that's really what I did to build my practice. And everybody thought I was crazy when I took this leap. But, fast forward years of grinding and hustling and just being really determined to make this work. I think that's the thing is you have to be obsessed with what you're doing or you're going to be average. So I chose to be obsessed and I just went for it. And here we are today. I have this beautiful location. I have 11 employees. It's really great.
Yes. And I love you. I heard you talk about just when you dropped things off, the skincare, how much and I see this all the time with your practice. You really work on building relationships and that personal connection. You remember small details about people. And I really do feel that makes you stand out. And I feel the same way with Coaching with Confidence and Positively Fit community with all my clients. I really work hard to build a relationship and make sure they know that I value them and I care about them, because I've been on the other hand where I might get a service or I might hire a coach and I just feel like another number to them and I don't have that personal connection.
Oh, yeah, that is so important to me. So that is 100% how I built my business.
Yeah.
I always say my clients become my friends. And my mission is for someone to walk in my door and feel like they're walking into their best friend's house.
Yeah.
And then to leave like they just got a Louis Vuitton bag that they want to show off. And so what I mean by that is you come in and you're like, oh my gosh, Kristen, like, they know everything about Jackson. I know their kids. I know their dogs. I truly, truly care. And at the end of the day, I want them to walk out like, this is the best money I've ever spent in my entire life. I want them to feel amazing. So that's something that's really important. It's really not about the money for me. It's about how I make people feel. That is my why. So I think that's important is you have to know your why.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. And the beauty with that too is if you focus on that, the money's going to come with it.
Yeah. And I also will add, because I know you were talking about in the beginning that leap that I took. So going from $90,000 to like literally making no money, that's what you have to do. I was just trying to survive in the beginning. So I think that's important for entrepreneurs. A lot of people see the success and you see the glamour, but you really don't see the hustle. And there's a lot of hustle that goes into it before you make money. And for me, it was 3 years before I saw a return of investment.
Yeah, I can totally relate. Now as a teacher, I was definitely not making $90,000, but I probably had a salary of like $50,000. But still going from that into going into my own business, I remember being out in California and I was barely making $1,000 a month when I got started. And obviously no one can live off that in California. So it was a struggle in the beginning. And I definitely want us to dive a lot into just how you balance everything at this point. But I think a really important part is recognizing that there's going to be different seasons of life. And when you are starting your business off, it's going to be a grind season. It's going to be a grind season. It's going to take a lot from you, but you have to believe in the long run that it will pay off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I first started my business, I couldn't go out with my friends. I was trying to build my website and I was posting on Instagram, trying to get clients. And you're just in this grind season. And I think there's a different season for everything in life.
100%. There absolutely is.
Balancing right now, I would say I'm in a different season. So now that I've become a mom and I've really been working in my business for years now, I am in more of a season of saying no. And what I mean by that is, in order to balance it all, I have to be able to say no to a lot of the things that I want to do, to be able to do the things that I need to do.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be a mom. I need to be a business owner. I also need to be a good friend. So I might not be able to say yes to everything. I have to be strategic in where I spend my time. So I think that is really important for balancing.
I love the saying of you have to say no to others so that you can say yes to yourself. And it is so freaking true. But I definitely am always impressed by you, Kristen, and how much you do balance. You are a multi-million-dollar entrepreneur. You have big plans to continue growing and to be able to open up more practices and more locations. And I absolutely know you're going to. You're also an incredible mom. I know you want to continue to expand your family. You're a wife. You're very avid with your faith, which is so impressive. You do Bible study, once a week?
Actually, I do Bible study every other week, but I do read my Bible every day.
Yes. And you're on your health journey. You're prioritizing your fitness. She's been on the Positively Fit community workouts, killing it with that strength training. But all that plus balancing a social life. You know, she's making sure with me getting married, we're still going out to Nashville and having a girls' weekend away. And so it's just incredible how you do balance it all. So tell us, what do you feel is one of the biggest things that allows you to be able to continue to have so much on your plate and hold yourself with so much positivity and joy?
Yeah, so I think routine is number one for me. I'm a person of routine. So I wake up early in the morning. I prioritize my workouts because if I don't work out and I'm not healthy, then I can't show up as a mom, a wife, or business owner. So to me, that's a non-negotiable. I also like to start my day reading the Bible, and that's just because that's part of my faith. So it feels like it helps ground me and really set my day. So those routines are really important to me. Also spending time with my baby. So I make sure that I am always a mom. So in the mornings after I do my workouts, because I have to do that to show up as a mom, then I spend time with Jax before getting ready for work. I leave, I work. When I'm working, I am on. And I think that's really important for me. I'm not just going to work to see a few patients and go home. Like, I skip lunch. I'm seeing back-to-back patients. I'm trying to maximize my time. So then when I get home, I can be on as a mom again. And again, just prioritizing what's important to me. So you're my best friend. You're getting married. I'm going to make sure that I make time for that. So I think just, again, saying no to a lot of things so you can say yes to the important things. And then routine, because again, if you let yourself go and you don't prioritize your health, your well-being, and staying on track, I can't show up in those other crucial areas of my life. And I've seen that happen to myself before because I'm not perfect. Right? Nobody is perfect. And I've just noticed when I don't have routine, I am not able to maximize my capabilities.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Mine is very similar with just having my non-negotiables, like my movement, my food, my water, but also learning to ground myself and really be in tune with myself so I can recognize when I feel like I'm hitting a burnout phase or I'm hitting a breaking point where I really just need to spend some alone time with myself. I love pulling out my journal at that time and just kind of brain dumping everything that's on my head. And just, I have like my whiteboard right now that has all my Q1 plans and goals and all the things I have to do. And sometimes just writing that out and revisiting it allows me to feel like less stressed and more calmed and be like, okay, yes, Megan, you freaking got this. You can do anything you put your mind to.
I think that's huge. And I actually journal every morning. I am always writing out my goals. So kind of what you're saying, you have a vision board, your Q1 plans. I literally write out like my goals every single day. So they're at the top of my mind, and that's my why, right? Like, how am I going to hit these goals? How am I going to work my way backwards to make sure that I'm staying on track? So I think that just goes back to that routine I always have.
Definitely. So as we wrap up each episode, I have this idea to bring a positive takeaway, to leave everyone with this big, powerful, positive takeaway. But for us, because we're such a power duo best friends, I thought it'd be really fun for your positive takeaway to be surrounded by beauty, and I'll bring in the fitness.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
So I think my number one takeaway is to invest in your skin. And our skin is our largest organ, right? And we need to invest in our skin young, not like when we're 10 years old. A lot of people are trending right now and doing skincare when they're 10. You don't need to be crazy.
Yeah.
But we need to start prioritizing in our 20s because we only get one skin. So take care of your skin, use medical grade products, drink lots of water, and just really prioritize that.
I love that. You know, my grandmother always told me in my 20s, she was like, if you do anything, take care of your skin. She always stressed that to me and be like, look at my skin. I was always taking care of it. And it is the first thing that shows aging. So I do feel that is something that down the road, you're going to be so grateful that you were prioritizing your skin at a younger age.
Absolutely. We actually start to lose collagen in our 20s, which is really impactful because collagen is what makes our skin firm, bouncy, tight, and elastic. So it is the number one thing that we notice as we age is changes in our skin. So
yeah,
start in your 20s.
Well, my positive takeaway for fitness is just moving your body on a daily basis. Move your body every single day, whether it's walking or yoga or lifting weights. Just that movement overall is also going to keep you in a better headspace so that you can execute on all the things that you want to do.
I love that. I can actually attest that weight training with you has totally changed my life. It helps with my anxiety. It helps start my day. I feel good.
Yes.
So,
and eating more protein. I finally got Kristen to start eating more protein, which is another positive takeaway because most females are always under eating protein because let's be real, it is harder for us to consume. It's so easy to eat all the carbs and fats, but protein is what's really going to fuel you and it's going to allow you to strengthen your muscles, your bones. It is actually going to give you more energy as well too. And you'll notice, like Kristen said, you notice the difference.
100%.
Yes. Well, thanks guys so much for tuning in and we'll see you next week on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.